and welcome to another action-packed adventure episode of Bent TV. I'm Malice, your host, and the first story we're going to go to is a story on water polo, and apparently a grudge match between the Melbourne The Surge versus the Sydney team, the Stingers. I bet this is going to be nail-biting action. Check it out.
This is Gavin Henderson of Bent TV. We're at the South Yarra Sports Centre for a match between the Melbourne Surge water polo team and the Sydney Stingers.
This is our club captain Andrew, and this is our club president Shannon.
It's a physical sport, so yes, there is a lot of contact. It's a lot of underwater contact, grabbing hold of, using your legs to grab hold of, a lot of grabbing hold of bathers and twisting around and grabbing body hair if you've got it.
How about penalties or sin bin style?
Yes, we have a sin bin so you can get penalised and sent out of the game. And that's for usually swimming or going over the top of a player. You're not allowed to sort of go over the top of a player. Most of your contact's got to be around or underneath the water. But if you're sort of like, or boom, give someone a big boof over the head, you'll get sent out.
Panel referees or one from each?
Always independent, yeah. So in our competition, Victorian Water Polo, they have registered referees, so they're all from different clubs, but it's not the two teams that play in the pool. It's from other clubs. So
at the moment, in our state league, we play 7-minute quarters. But as you go up in the higher leagues, I'm not sure what we're playing today, but probably maybe 8-minute quarters. I think
this tend to be 8. Sounds not such a long time, like 7 minutes, but when you're
treading
up
water
and down, treading water and sprinting up and down the water, you do 8 minutes of like swim, turnover, swim, turnover, swim, turnover, fight, swim, turnover. Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, that's enough. Yeah, 7 minutes.
So how long have each of you been with the team?
I've been playing for about 9 years now.
Been 7 years. Oh yeah, nearly 7 years.
I'm the baby. I've only been with the team one year.
I'm Luke Kelly.
Kerry Mealing.
Daniel Andriello.
The grudge match, how did that come about?
It's been running for about 8 or 9 years now. It started, both teams, the Sydney team sort of started for the Gay Games back in 2002, and off the back of that we kind of reached out to other gay teams around between Melbourne, Brisbane, Sydney, etc. And so we started this habit of the Melbourne team coming up every 6 months, or us coming down to Melbourne here every 6 months, and so it kind of sprang from that. So it's a chance to kind of catch up and socialise with the guys, and there's a bit of competition in it, of course, and occasionally a bit of fun as well, and a lot of drinking.
What attracted you to the game?
I guess I was always a little bit of a swimmer, but more so the social side of it behind the club. We have our normal training, then we go to the pub afterwards and have become friends with the boys, and it's simple and social.
And how do you progress through as regards gaining additional fitness, gaining practice?
Well, on the first day, you're always down, and you always get other people thinking, I could never do that. I could never do that again. But yeah, as you just gaining more and more momentum, more and more stamina. Like you learn to you correct your stroke, so you actually swim better. You swim more efficiently, and so it is quite physical. But you work steadily to increase your fitness.
What's the track record of yourselves?
It depends on how far back you go. There was a time for the first 3 or 4 years, it was pretty much the Sydney Stingers' name on the trophy. And then we lost that trophy, and so we had to start again, and it all just went downhill from there. The last few years, these guys have actually managed to take it off for the... we've got 2 teams, so the more senior team, they won last year, but our more junior team had their first win last year against the Melbourne guys, so they're very proud of that.
There is a hometown advantage as well, because these guys, obviously, they're all here in Melbourne, and we're all in Sydney, so I think you guys won your last Sydney match against the Surge, so it really kind of depends on how many players can get to Sydney, how many players can get to Melbourne as well.
And the spectators as well, so having a home team cheering for you and a crowd there to show off for it kind of helps as well.
Yeah. The national players, they're all like over 6 foot, and they're big swimming guys, muscly. But on our level, it helps to be fit, but whatever fitness, however you look when you're fit, that's fine, Yeah, but there's some smaller guys, and they handle themselves all right. It's how you present or play yourself in the match. If you're not so big, you can have other ways of getting around things. You might be a little bit quicker in the water, or Yeah, so it helps to be a bit big, have a bit of bulk behind you. Because sometimes it's a match, like a wrestle between two people in the water, and you want to be the sort of slightly the stronger one, or the one that can handle himself.
Now, like most teams in the game, what do you enjoy about the game?
This is my first time with the grudge match down in Melbourne, and I get to meet other gay guys from other cities that are interested in water polo, so yeah, common interest. And
So how long have you been with the Stingers?
just under a year, so yeah.
And why did you enjoy it?
I've always been a strong swimmer, and I had an interest in getting involved with water polo. And we have what's called a fair day in Sydney, so I went along to that, signed up to a boot camp, and that's about it.
No. And he's been swimming the legs off the rest of us ever since.
So are you in the A team or the B team you were referring to?
He plays in the senior team.
Senior team now, yeah.
He swims fast, and we can really use some strong swimmers. It always helps. So there's a balance of skill set in swimming, and that's why we get a lot of people coming along, some of whom have swum before, some of whom who haven't, and so it's that mixture between learning a team game and a ball sports type of game, as well as the swimming off the back of it as well.
How many players that way?
So there is a lot of people that cross disciplines as well. So where we used to be part of the glamour heads, now a lot of people have changed and evolved to become polo players or rugby players. So there is no body type, but it's all about just getting in the pool and having fun.
Actually, on this team in the water.
There's 7 in the team. There's the goalie and 6 players out in the field. And there's also the subs, so you can have up to 6 more subs, I think. Out in the corner, but I think today you guys will be lucky to have a couple of subs. I think we've got maybe 3 or 4 today, so it just depends on how many people are on the card in the game.
Play with us, so like people may be worried about being physical in the pool straight up and first off, but it's not that way. It's very much a tapered training regime before you actually get into that game situation. Yeah.
You can actually unlimited substitution, yeah. Yeah, so it's really good because you do need it every now and again, especially if you've got my level of fitness. It's like, come on, save me.
Why did I start? Because I suppose I was just looking for something physical to do, and I found it in the club, and it was such a positive environment around it. You get in, you swim, and you do those the things that are all very physical. But behind that, there is a group of 30 boys who are really well-adjusted human beings and who are just who are quite positive about everything. Yeah, and so it's just positive. I'm part of the Victorian State League, and we play in that every Thursday, and so we go up and down leagues depending on how serious we take it per season. Yeah, but it's all pretty fun. The gay games, the Antwerp, later this year. So we're gearing up to send 2 teams to Antwerp. At the moment we've probably got 1 team, but we are aiming for 2. And so we're going to be doing a boot camp and then training right through, and then come July, August, it's going to be over there. Yeah.
We have Melbourne Surge Facebook page, so you can sign up on that. And we do a Rookies Day, which is coming up in April, but it's usually at the start of the year, sometime at the start of the year. This year it's the 7th of April. So that's a good way of sort of coming along down. We play here, so come down here and that's when you can go and try out. Go Surge!
Wow, that's more cock in the water than I've seen in a long time. How exciting. Okay, we'll be right back. Welcome back. You're on Bent TV, of course, with Malice, and we're about to hit Melbourne Queer Film Festival and what's on in the second week. So stay tuned for myself, Gavin, and Lisa Daniel, the festival director. Hi, Lisa. Can you tell us, I've heard a little bit about this, can you tell us about the 3D session I'm hearing about?
Yes, I can. It's our very first 3D session.
Exciting.
Yay.
Yeah.
So we're having that up at Hoyt's on the second Friday night.
Okay.
Date escapes me at the moment. I think it's the 22nd or something.
Yep.
So Hoyt's, 6 p.m. It's a film called A Liar's Autobiography.
Yep.
It's basically an autobiography or a biography about Graham Chapman, who is the guy from Monty Python, of course, who died in the late 80s. But they found some old, basically some old recordings, some audio recordings of his, and so he's basically made this film himself, even though he's dead.
Wow.
So I know that's very hard to explain, but and they invited 15 animators to put together some animations to spell out his life. Very queer, lots of stuff about about being gay, about working with John Cleese and the rest of the Monty Python team.
Wow.
It's quite out there.
Yeah.
But the 3D stuff is amazing. I actually saw it in 2D first, and I thought this would be such a great 3D film. And they're like, it is 3D.
Wow.
So I can't wait for that. So you'll get your glasses. And one of the guys who was the animation producer is going to be there. He's over from, just happens to be in the country, so I've grabbed him.
Cool.
So really excited. I cannot wait to screen it. So,
well, animation lends itself really well to the 3D.
yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah.
I know that when I've been telling people that we're having an animation, in a 3D animation, they're thinking, oh, we're going to get lots of breasts and other poking and prodding things in our faces. But no, sorry,
oh, damn.
not quite like that.
Damn.
So I might enjoy some bits of it.
You might, yes, yes, you might, Kevin.
Okay, good.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So book early for that one for sure.
Yeah, okay,
I
cool.
think that's going to sell out.
Okay.
I saw an Australian shorts package mentioned.
Yes.
What's this about?
It's basically the City of Melbourne Award. We've had it for about 15 years. So what that is basically an award package for emerging filmmakers. We have a $3,000 cash prize. Yeah. There's about 7 films in the package this year, screening on the second weekend, the Saturday night. So all vying for the $3,000. And a couple of good lesbian films this year. Sometimes we don't get a lot of lesbian stuff that's Australian made, but a really, really good package of films. They're, sort of anything from 5 minutes to about 15 minutes. So, about 7 in the package. Really, really good stuff. So, book early for that too. All the filmmakers will be there introducing their films and their sessions.
Oh,
so,
excellent.
Yeah, fantastic. So this is the future of filmmaking in Australia. So we're very proud of it and very pleased to be presenting.
It'll be very interesting to see.
Cool. That sounds really good. Yeah. So are there non-film events running?
Yeah, second weekend we've got a couple of panels. We've got what we're calling crowdfunding for dummies, and it's basically aimed at filmmakers who are wanting to make a film and raise money through things like crowdfunding. So it's being presented by Possible, which is Australia's sort of preeminent crowdfunding organisation. So it's about getting friends and people on the internet to contribute to helping fund a film, and it seems to work incredibly well for film. So we're having a sort of a how-to panel on that. We're having filmmakers that have actually used that media to do it, and the guy from Possible, Rick, will be presenting how it works from his end. So really excited about that. We've also got a panel on queer TV, so queering the small screen, basically, because TV is much more adventurous when it comes to queer queer stuff than I guess film is, and so we're having. Tim Hunter, Melbourne's own Tim Hunter, Rachel Cook from MCV, Catherine Devaney, and hopefully a secret guest who I will reveal in the next couple of days to talk about queers on the small screen. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that one too.
Yeah, well, it has changed the landscape a lot.
Yeah, it has. I mean, television is much more adventurous than film in terms of putting people like us on the telly.
Yes.
So, I think it's great. And time that we actually took notice and had a bit of a chat about it, I think.
Yeah. Cool. Sounds good.
One of the titles that I noticed...
your interest.
Yes, that's the better way of putting it.
Yes.
Keep the Lights On.
Yes.
I'll just chronicles an emotional and sexually charged journey of 2 men in New York through love, friendship and addiction.
Yeah, it's a fantastic film, not a comedy. It's a pretty serious kind of relationship drama, incredibly well acted. There's a guy from Damages in it who plays one of the gay men who is, troubled by addiction, and he's fantastic in it. So, yeah, just, again, a little bit like Weekend, for anyone who saw Weekend, but it does touch on more how addiction can really impact a relationship, and how, how do modern gays kind of, I guess... how do they sort of manage a relationship in contemporary life and also with an addiction that is involved in the relationship? So pretty heavy stuff, but a really, really good film, fantastic film. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. That's screening twice if you happen to miss it. So.
Okay, so something that isn't heavy would be, I'm just reading Cockpit, Mrs. Doubtfire meets Tootsie, 10,000 metres up.
Yeah,
I like
hilarious.
the sound of that.
Hilarious film. Comedy of errors, mistaken identities, that sort of thing. Basically, a family man loses his job as a pilot, finds out that the new companies are actually only looking for female pilots, so he dresses up as a woman and kind of likes it, but also meets a woman who falls in love with him in his female guise, and he's got a very queer-friendly sister, and he basically steals her identity. And then it gets very crazy and carried away because he basically averts a plane crash. Dressed as his female character, and then ends up on international television, and what's going to happen. And it's crazy, but really funny, and just great stuff. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, awesome. So, final film to talk about, Gavin. Have you got one that you wanted to talk about?
Closing night.
Yes, closing night.
While we're speaking of Australians, we're actually very happy to be screening 2 Australian premieres, feature films, which is pretty rare, so we're very excited. In fact, one is a world premiere. We're screening a film by Lee Galea called Monster Pies on Sunday, March 24 at Acme. So that's going to be full of cast and crew and very exciting, not been seen with an audience before, so we're very excited about that. And closing that is an Australian premiere called Submerge.
Yeah.
Sophie O'Connor is the director of that film. It's a lesbian film, fantastic. Melbourne shot, Melbourne made, Melbourne everything.
Awesome.
Shot all around Melbourne, so brilliant film, and is sure to be a hit. So looking forward to that.
Excellent stuff to look forward to on the closing night of Melbourne Queer Film Festival. Thank you, Lisa and Gavin, and I'm Mellis. So there's a few things to check out in the Melbourne Queer Film Festival. I might see you there. If you would like to drop us a line, please feel free to do so at feedback@benttv.org.au. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Vent TV. We are about to hit another spoken word artist that is touring as part of Midsummer, so I'm looking forward to hearing some juicy words. We're on Bent TV. I'm Sammy Whitehead. I'm joined by queer Aboriginal writer Brian. Welcome to Bent.
Thank you.
Darling, let me know a little bit about your history, because you do quite a bit of work with Amnesty.
Yeah, I guess my day job, my 9-to-5 job, is with Amnesty International. I'm a human rights education coordinator, so I pretty much educate communities across Australia about their human rights and understanding of that kind of stuff. That's my day job, and I guess vocationally, as a hobby, I'm a writer, and that's...
How do you find it must be a little bit of a crossover with you with the human rights and what you actually do, as part of your working life, and then with that sort of with your social life as well, and because I suppose it's a sort of work that you do tend to take home a little bit.
It is a bit, like you kind of can't really clock off in some respects being an Aboriginal person. Like you kind of wear it on your sleeve. I guess it informs, like, my work does inform hobbies and writing, and I guess my politics and whatnot. So as a writer, I kind of feel that it's a space in which to get political, sort of promote a bit of a voice. Australia's not big on promoting an Indigenous voice, so...
No, yes, I've noticed that.
Yeah, so it's kind of like good to get that out there. I guess it's like I guess a queer voice, for example. I mean, it's great that we have sort of television stations like Bent TV. It's about kind of promoting a queer voice. Same thing with Indigenous issues. I'm very mindful of ensuring that Aboriginal voices are put out there. So I do that for my 9-to-5 job. But I guess on the after hours stuff, it's very much about honing that and promoting that with my writing.
So how did sort of writing come about for you?
I guess through Crusader and Roland from Hares and Hyenas. I'd met them. I sort of went to one of their events, and they just sort of basically took a shining to me, I guess, and asked me to be involved with a rapid fire event, which is basically 12 writers get 6 minutes each to read 6 minutes of their work. They got me to be involved with that, and I guess the rest, as they say, is history. So, yeah. And
you also some inspiration through losing your uncle at a young age as well.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'm doing a piece for Midsummer, part of the Hares and Hyenas program, and that's it's for an event called Melbourne 3000. They held it for the first time last year, and it's basically pulling together different queer writers or gay and lesbian writers to explore Melbourne's gay history, or queer history rather, not to be. I guess
exclusive.
Exclusive, yes. So, last year they kind of had a range of writers, like Krista Shelkos was presented as part of it. I'm just trying to think who else. Patricia Cornelius. Some great writers there, and so this year they're doing it again because it was such a great event, and I'll be reading as part of that. And they've actually asked me to kind of to do a piece about my uncle, which I've kind of pulled out as part of a broader piece of work or body of work that I'm working on that looks at, I guess, my culture, my queerness, my community, my heritage, and sort of blends in, I guess, queer issues with Indigenous issues. I guess historically, sometimes there's a perception that Aboriginal communities can be quite homophobic, but I sort of see that as very much an imposition of Christianity and the invasion and the culture that brought. So I guess, I like to explore those issues of, I guess, pre-colonisation or invasion culture within an Indigenous sense, and highlighting, I guess, not to romanticise things, but highlighting acceptance, what it is to be part of a community. And so my writing sort of, very much asserts that kind of line, but also blends in Aboriginal mythology, our legends, and for Queer 3000 I'll be looking at a piece about the water rat, which is about the creation of the water rat, and it's basically about a relationship between an uncle and a nephew. The uncle ends up becoming a water rat, and so I'll kind of explore a piece about my uncle who passed away in 1997, sort of using, I guess, our legends and mythology to kind of draw out the themes within the story.
Because we do find that, we say as a queer community that a lot of our history is unknown to the broader community. But for you, it's a bit of a double-edged sword as well, because a lot of people that aren't Indigenous don't, the broader community doesn't understand that you have such amazingly traditions and stories to share that it's great to be able to hear that being shared with us as well, and also from a queer perspective.
Yeah, it's sort of, it's like I just like to reinstate things, I guess, because we have lost a lot. I mean, to be honest, as an Aboriginal person, I'm very mindful of that. As somebody that's from the southeastern part of Australia, which pretty much got the brunt of the invasion, and so I'm kind of mindful about incorporating language, traditions, mythology, or legends. I mean, when we use the term myths, it's actually, it sounds like it's kind of not real or fantastical, but it's actually, we believe in these stories. They kind of do form the creation of who we are, our culture, why we observe things, and so my writing's a sort of exploration of that in a sense, and it's good to celebrate that and just good to reinstate that. And for you, the importance of being involved with something like the Queer 3000 and Midsummer, how do you feel? Yeah, it's a privilege. I mean, Noel Tovey, who's an amazing Aboriginal writer and performer, choreographer and dancer, is part of the lineup for this year. And it's just nice to kind of be able to share the stage with people like that, and just to kind of, put my own work out there and just to have it heard. Wonderful. Let's hear a little bit of your work. Cool, yeah. Well, this is a piece, it's actually a poem that I wrote, and just, it's actually in my language, Yorta Yorta. And I guess it's about kind of exploring just homosexual love or kind of desire for a man, and it's called Galnya Yia. Galnya Dipu Yen Benaan, Danin Bayu, Danin Dipu, Danin Menmet Ban Bukan. Galnyan Man Yen Benaan, Danin Galinba, Danin Waru, Danin Ma. Galnya Yir, Galnya Baicha. Nyanyan Yerka, Daididja, Nyanyan Yerka, Nanga Warara. Malwa Nyanyan. Was cool, and we are looking forward to having you back with us again next week. But if you would like to become involved in behind the scenes on Bent TV, we're really keen on getting some people who are interested in researching. Perhaps you could check out our website at benttv.org.au, and we'd love to see you soon, and we will be seeing you next week for another Bent TV. Thank you. Bye.